responding.
21 of us.
Don't respond. They won't
Second
fuck
someone
with
wants to
not
do a
that way.
truck, all 21 of us are going full force. AR's out.
Dude,
When
Yeah.
need,
what I
They
can say
have to
is
blame
I
you about
wish
that
I
one.
wish
Are we allowed
somebody's like
trunks?
I wish
Trunks
somebody could like stand right outside and just record and just like all of us just run out like we're responding to a call. It'd be fucking badass video.
just have 4 Air 1s out there. Just get a shit out of them.
Just gonna. Everyone's gonna be
Air
in there.
ones,
We're just
more
gonna
like-
hot shot.
Everybody just hot drop Air
What's
1.
happened to the Apache helicopters? See, really fun.
Hell yeah.
If
I
we
got
want
you
to hit
out
him,
of
just
shit.
fucking kamikaze the helicopter right into the vehicle. That maneuver. Yo, so when you gonna share your snacks, bro? I know you got some in the back room.
What's in the back room stays in back room, alright?
Bro, you guys be stealing all the fucking snacks, bro. I swear to God.
They've laid water out for us on the tables. Calm down.
Shut
True.
your hydrated ass up, alright?
We have electrolytes. That's what we need.
Like, is that even an insult to tell someone they're hydrated?
Yeah,
Well,
yeah.
see,
I would have
if you wanted to turn that around and
Good
make it
for
an
you.
insult, that's when you tell them they're thirsty, not hydrated.
Yeah. Good for, I'd say, yeah, good for you, man. When you drink water.
Good
job.
vibes, bro. Good vibes.
Yeah, for real.
Well, that's good. You're supposed to be drinking water.
Wait, what? We are?
All right. I don't think anyone else is showing up. First thing, thank you all for coming in. Over the past couple weeks, it's been.
Wait, hold on. I just need to make sure. You guys could hear, right?
A little bit.
Okay, here.
Are
I'll
you
do
on-
this.
Chubbs,
Up.
are you on shout?
Hello.
Shouting?
Yeah, I'm definitely shouting.
Okay.
Just get in the middle. So everyone-
Yeah. Just get in the middle.
Oof.
Come next
Fine.
to us.
Kick the attention seekers out.
All right, how about now? Is this better?
Yeah, you're good.
Yep. There you go. There
All
you
right.
go.
As you guys know, the past week, 2 weeks, probably even 3 weeks, has been a giant, just clusterfuck of emotions. Both departments kind of doing something wrong in some way, but not necessarily wrong. It was just a big miscommunication on kind of like my end, everyone else's end, and it was kind of like hard to see everything that kind of turned out to be. So this meeting, we're basically going to kind of address everything that I think a lot of the high command has seen, but also everybody else has seen when you're kind of on the duty. We're going to do a lot of restructuring in some sort of way. It's going to be completely different from what we kind of just went from. A lot of us think it's going to be a little bit better, more clear for everyone. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to kind of restructure some things. We're going to explain it. Some of the other high command, if you guys don't understand, they can explain it as well. But I think the system that we're going to put into place is kind of going to, keep us all in check for one thing, but also I think it's going to run a little bit smoother. Communication, everything's going to be a lot better than what it was.
So one thing before we go ahead and kick this off, any questions, comments, concerns, complaints, please try to save those so that we could go ahead and get this meeting done with, and then afterwards you could go ahead and speak to one of us individually or as a group, and then we could go ahead and handle that later.
All good? Everyone got it?
Sir.
So the first thing I think is kind of a big deal. We see it a lot happening, especially over the past couple weeks. This is kind of in the city stuff, but when you banter back and forth with somebody, a civilian, a gang member, any suspects, and this is kind of big on like work etiquette stuff right here. So big thing for me is I hate seeing when cops and people over Twitter just start going back and forth. In my opinion, it just kind of looks unprofessional in a way. Also, I mean, you just saw the tweet I sent out. If you're in the city, no loyal females on the timeline. That's just kind of like jokes and stuff. But also, when you start going back and forth with some gang member or something, I think it's a little bit unprofessional. I think we got to tighten up a little bit, even if they're talking shit over Twitter or anything like that. Also, with like when you're interacting with everyone, think about when you're down on the south side and stuff. The moment the emotions start to run hot, it's just gonna turn. It's gonna turn for the worse. So there's gonna be some sort of way we got to be able to like keep our emotions and everything intact. We can't go around like taunting gang members, trying to get them into a shootout. Obviously, we need to treat them with as much respect as a police officer can treat. But we just got to be very aware. There's been a lot of complaints over the past couple weeks of like cops trying to bait criminals into like getting into shootouts. So that's something we're going to really kind of cut back on. I think we're going to tighten up a little bit, if you start to, you know, taunt a gang member or something, we start to hear about it more. It becomes a repetitive thing. We're definitely going to be enforcing the strikes a lot more over the past, probably about 2 weeks. We're going to really kind of no bullshit etiquette's going to be the way. I want to see how professional we can be, but you guys can also have fun, you know, be a little laid back with it. But we're going to start to, you know, definitely watch how you guys are interacting with everybody. Trying to use, like, you know, your best judgment call on everything. Valentine, you want to add anything onto that?
So with that, you know, in my honest opinion, you can keep good relations with people that, you know, that commit their crimes or whatnot, you know, with organizations. You can keep good relations, but at the same time, you could still be doing your job. You know, I spoke with an officer earlier today. You know, I went ahead and corrected him over it, but at the same time, he was saying how he was concerned about, you know, making relations worse between himself and said organization. And I said, you know, at the end of the day, you got a job to do, and at the end of the day, they should understand that as well. You know, if they're out there doing something, and obviously it's getting to the point where it's endangering others, obviously you have to put a stop to it. It's not anything that they should look at it in a wrongful way. Like, you know, the same way we are with certain criminals, right? Like, we're like, oh, you're doing this again? Okay, well, you know, we're going to try and talk you out of it, but obviously you're not going to change. Same way it is with us that, oh, wow, you're going to stop me and arrest me again for doing this? It's like, well, maybe if you stop doing that, we'll stop arresting you for that. Something like that. It's not one of those where, you know, they cause all this kind of havoc and you don't want him to start hating you, so you just go ahead and let him off or give him a 10-month community service. Like, there's a time and place to go ahead and be lenient, and a lot of you guys just need to understand that regardless if they're your friend or not, or however you feel about them, you still got to put your job before, because at the end of the day, they could either get worse from that, or they could just, you know, something extremely bad could happen in that situation.
Thank you, Valentine. Dangle, you want to say anything or no?
Yeah, so I did have that one section that I put into the notes that we were talking about beforehand. Just the overall professionalism, just a lot of sloppy shit going on around the PD. Like, I can understand if it's super super late and there's nothing going on and you guys are like having a dance party or whatever, but you know, we're out there the other day. I'm trying to have an interview with the district attorney to talk about an upcoming case, and somebody's like dragging me around in circles around the building and dropping me into fucking walls and stuff. Like, we got to just clean that kind of stuff up. Like, if you're bored, that's one thing, and you know, find something fun to do, but you know, fun for you might be annoying for somebody else, and we got to take that into account.
Mason or Larkin, you want to say anything?
Go ahead.
So really, my thing is, a lot of the SBS bullshit's got to stop. That's just my thing. Personally, I don't really care too much for it. It's just a waste of my time, and I really don't want to strike you guys for it. But if that's gonna be how it's gonna be, then that's just how I'm gonna have to be. That's all I gotta say.
For me, I'm kind of on the same page when it comes to Dangle. I mean, there's a time and a place when it comes to SBS. I mean, at the end of the day, we all want to have fun. We want to stress relief, but try not to do it like in front of the PD in the lobby. You know, where we're in front of civilians, in front of criminals, stuff like that. Just because of the perception that it gives. That it's just a perception thing that people have for us, is they're just gonna think like it's a circus over here, or we're just a bunch of clowns. I mean, I don't know if anybody else has thrown the suggestion out. Suggestion that I was actually thinking is maybe once or twice a week, we just literally have like a PD night where we do stuff off duty, maybe like taser tag or something one night, where you know, where we can all have fun and we don't have to worry about the stress of being on duty, that kind of thing. Just if you want to horse around, I don't personally have a problem with it. Just try to do it away from the eyes of civilians uh, and criminals and stuff like that. Like, I personally don't mind it. Sometimes I like to have a little bit of fun too. It's just we got to do it away from them. That's all.
Nice. Alright, so the next ones we're gonna go over quick and easy. I think they're pretty self-explained. Kind of the big one I've heard over the past couple weeks is some of the officers taking items from people. I don't know. I think everybody should be aware. It tells you kind of in your SOP what items to take and what not to take. So when I start hearing stuff about people taking, like, sounds stupid, like food and stuff, even if you know the person, you know, maybe a cousin knows them or something, or you're just build a really good relationship with them, that shit's got to stop, because if the other officer sees it, he might think a little bit different because he doesn't know the situation. Just be taking out the stuff that's necessary. If they did something in the crime, gold bars, legal guns, stuff like that. IFAX PD armor, but if they have just the regular armor from like the Mega Mall, just leave that in there. Don't even worry about taking it. If I hear people are taking armor off civilians, I mean, we have free armor now. That used to be a big deal, but now it's not. There's no need to be taking that stuff off. Always just take, you know, the stuff that's illegal, the stuff that was part of the crime. Even if you know the person, I know it sounds so stupid, but I've heard it a lot happen over the past couple weeks, so we definitely can't be doing that shit anymore. The next one is about paperwork. I think there's some reports out there that could probably use, you know, a lot more effort. I've always said be as detailed, even if it's something minor, that just in case you go to court. I mean, you guys know we do have lawyers now. So if somebody actually wants to go to court and everything and have a court case, which would be kind of cool. You kind of want to do it correctly so you can cover your whole, you know, your ass basically if they want to take it to court. Does everyone know, like, the template that's under the SOP? Like, you just go in there, copy and paste, and it basically just says everything that we need to know. It's just the summary, what you took, how long they're going for, did they plead guilty, what was the fine, and then if they want parole or not. So, you know, it's in there. Kind of follow it. We're going to definitely start to crack down. There's a lot of them out there just super, super sloppy. And that still kind of ties back to, you know, professionalism. Virtually part of being a cop is you have to do paperwork. Does everyone know how to, you know, submit an arrest warrant, like where the template for that is? We used to have like a 2-step process. Now just go to the SOP, follow the template for an arrest warrant, write up the arrest warrant in the MDT, boom, you're done. That's all it needs. When it comes to a search warrant, it's a little bit different, a little bit more paperwork. We're still going to have it as, I think it's a captain or higher is the only one that can submit warrants to the DOJ. However, any officer, if they have proof, evidence where they can have a search warrant, write it up, man, do the paperwork. If you don't know how to do it, let me know and I can definitely help out. I think now there's a lot more guns in the city, so especially, you know, like AP pistols, a lot of people still have some of the cop ARs, the pistols. Even when, you know, they have a cop AR or a cop pistol, when, you know, it's a free search warrant for us, but we still have to do that paperwork, no matter what. Like, say, if you don't know how to do it, just let me know. It's really easy once you figure it out. And then we can just submit it to the DOJ. I'd like to see if we can have a couple court cases. I know Porter's probably got a big one coming up. I think there's some other ones going on. So, yeah, do your paperwork correctly. There's always a template for it. If you have any questions, just let me know. I think any of the high command, they all know how to do it. It's really not that hard. I know it sucks, but it's also a part of the job.
One more thing about the paperwork. I want to say you guys all know that we can allow parole to, you know, to certain individuals when they commit certain crimes. Parole is the thing. The only difference is that it's currently being implemented to the MDT so that we could go ahead and, you know, handle it in an easier way, but it is still available right now. Only thing is that you obviously got to do the math yourself and such. But, you know, if criminals are asking for parole, go ahead and, you know, it's not something that we say we don't offer. Yeah, we do offer it. It's just a little complicated right now.
Anybody else about paperwork?
Not for me. You pretty much nailed it.
All right. The next one sounds kind of stupid too. Uniform protocol. I know for the month of October, like, I had pink hair. I think everybody was rocking pink bandanas for everything.
Oh, I was.
So, but I think we're gonna start to cut back. Unfortunately, that means we're gonna limit. Well, we're not gonna limit. No bandanas. We're gonna keep it as professional as possible. Your hats, your caps, stuff like that. I believe the high command's gonna come up with your uniform SOPs by rank. If not, they might already have it. Reach out to them, let them know, figure out what it is. As for like everybody else, I mean, it's pretty good around the room, but that's the one thing we definitely need to kind of clean it up. Like people that go down to the south side that have their bandanas like around their face, like that's not gonna happen anymore. We'll strike you for that just for it's the uniform protocol. It sounds stupid, but it kind of looks also a little silly when you're out on the streets and you see a cop in like a gang bandana or something.
I also am like kind of talking with the Chief Justice about that, and it's looking like it's one of those things where since somebody did try and sue us about a cop not showing his face because he had a mask on, that they're gonna kind of make it a legal precedent for us that we shouldn't be wearing them anyway. So legally and SOP wise, don't be wearing them anymore.
Anybody else about uniforms? Hell yeah. All right, next one. Radio communication. Over the past, few weeks, I hear a lot of people kind of bantering back and forth over radio comms. We should all understand when it comes to the radio. I mean, it's basically just for work and business. We want to keep it as, communicative as possible. People shouldn't be having side conversation. But also the big one I've noticed, and I'll just hop on the radio, not even be on patrol, kind of listen to what people are doing. There's a lot of people just start like 10-3ing people and telling people just like to be quiet or whatever. That shit's gonna stop. I think sometimes when that goes on, it kind of annoys a person. People get their emotions all riled up, and then it just becomes like a heated argument either over the radio or people kind of just get upset with each other. So the 10-3 thing, even if you're joking or not, just cut back on that stuff because sometimes it can just get really annoying for certain people. Another one I notice is I think we got to be a little bit more aware listening to the radio and what people are saying and communicating. Kind of what that means is start to pay attention if you can. Make a mental note if somebody's down at like MRPD processing somebody, and then let's say a bank truck's going on and only 2 units respond, and then you notice some other units aren't responding or aren't saying like they're on their way. And then you hear on the other side of the radio is somebody saying, like, I see 4 people at MRPD, like, what are you doing? When there's an active, like, bank truck. So my side is this. You don't know necessarily what that person's doing. Like, they could be 10-7 doing paperwork or in their head doing something. A big one for me is I've noticed after a lot of bank trucks, sometimes we take a lot of L's and everything, and a person could be heated about that former bank truck, and then they'll actually miss the next call. And I think it's kind of a smart thing because it cools the person off. So when you hear somebody go over the radio, it's like just start to call individuals out for, not responding to call. Just remember they might be doing something themselves. Where you call for backup, unfortunately, like backup can't get there. People are also doing other things in this scene, not just trying to respond to every single call. Let's see. Another one is, let's say you arrive on scene, announce. I mean, we're all pretty good at it, announcing like your 10-23 on the scene. But I think it starts to turn into, it's just messy, especially with bank trucks. Like we don't really have any strategy. We kind of wait it out. I think we're gonna kind of think about when you arrive on scene, somebody needs to take control right away. It doesn't really matter like who it is. Sergeants, lieutenants, captains, chiefs, assistant chiefs. Somebody I think definitely needs to, take control of the situation. I know Judd for one, unfortunately he's not here, but he's one of the best ones when it comes to situations like that. I'm gonna shout out Hans. Hans is pretty good as well. I think once we have like one leader directing us what to do, then you guys can start to work together rather than it just becomes just a sloppy mess. There's really no like tacticalness to it. So that's something I think a lot of us should kind of work on is when you arrive on scene, lead the scene. If you don't know how to lead the scene, request somebody else to lead the scene. That's just when somebody just needs to step up. So let's kind of think about that. It's the same thing when you arrive on scene to a hostage situation. Take the negotiations, communicate. But when it comes to more of the stuff like jewelry stores, bank shootings, stuff like that, I think we need to be a little bit more tactical, have somebody lead us through the entire situation. It's okay if we lose, but as long as we're organized, it's only going to get better and better. All right, this is...
You dropping the big one.
Oh, okay.
I want to mention something about radio. It's more of just mutual respect kind of thing. I have heard that let's not forget at the end of the day, not all of us are native English speakers. Not all of us is English as our first and primary language. At the end of the day, there's some of us that may struggle to say certain words. We struggle to say things a certain way. We may not come across clearly over the radio. If somebody says something over the radio and you don't understand, please just ask them to repeat or to clarify. I don't want to hear about anybody making fun of people or making a mockery out of people with their accents or the way they talk, things like that. That's just downright disrespectful, and nobody deserves to be treated like that. Just wanted to get that out there.
Jago, got anything?
Well, I mean, if you're ready to kind of drop the bomb on them.
I mean, I can. Which one?
Yeah. You want to do the small one or the big one?
I don't know. I don't know which one you're talking about.
Angle, let the man build it up.
Yeah, you keep going. You're doing great. You're doing great.
Okay. I can try it right now.
You're doing great. You're doing great.
All right, so like I said in the beginning, we're going to restructure stuff. When it comes to this restructure, now it's going to be more focused on you're going to respect more of the chain of command: sergeants, lieutenants, captains, assistant chiefs, and commissioners. Oh wait, there is another one, staff sergeant. We added staff sergeant in. That's right. All right, so this is how it's going to work. LSPD, BCSO, and SAHP are all going to have some sort of, we're going to call it a chief. They're going to be the ones that are in charge of their departments, overlooking their departments. They're going to be the head honcho of those departments. Those chiefs are going to work together in unison throughout all departments. So let's say Dangle tells an LSPD officer something, you're going to have to respect the rank, even though he's just a chief. But that's going to go for all ranks across all departments. So if you're a sergeant in the LSPD, you are equal to a sergeant in the BCSO, you're equal to a sergeant in the SAHP. If you're a lieutenant, that is the same thing. Same thing with captains and assistant chiefs, and then commissioners are just going to oversee basically everything. Does that make sense to everybody? Now it's not just a BCSO, let's say a BCSO lieutenant told an LSPD officer something, and then the LSPD officer reacts and says, like, I'm in a different department, I'll have to listen to you. That's not going to happen. Now everyone's going to be held accountable across all departments.
Also, for striking, if you are in a position where you can strike someone, it does not matter if you are, highway patrol and you want to strike an LSPD, you can do that. So don't feel like, I know before a lot of the times there was things where some BCSO guys would see something and they would bring it to me and they'd be like, well, I didn't strike them because I didn't think I could. Well, that's not a problem anymore. If you see somebody goofing off, doing something stupid, doing something that they know better than to do, go ahead and strike that motherfucker.
So pay attention to the ranks now. It's gonna hold a lot more people accountable. It's not more this individual BCSO versus LSPD versus SCGP. We're all gonna have to work together.
On the same team, motherfuckers. We're all on the same team. Solidarity.
We all bleed blue.
You guys have anything to add for that?
Chubbs is handsome.
All right, thank you. Hair grip. So you understand the restructure. Now comes like promotions, demotions, all that jazz. I know a lot of people have been upset over the past couple weeks about people getting promoted right away. People getting promoted 3 days after they've been a cadet. right to sergeant or something. Something that just seems a little bit unfair. It does suck. There was some times where I saw people getting promoted and it made no sense because I've seen people since early when the city opened up, and not even them have been promoted yet. So I understand how that goes. There are going to be some people that got promotions. A lot of the people over there next to me, over to my left, I think we made right decisions, people to go where. As everyone knows, Hans is now a trooper. So Hans, nice job.
That's
Job,
fine.
Hans.
I don't know. Might regret
Look,
that.
he's going through it.
Paid really good money for it, by the way.
I might regret that.
See Chubb's riding around in a Ferrari, you know why.
Whatever. Just start to pay attention to the ranks. All right, let me see. Let me bring up this paper right here about who got promoted.
On Dangle.
Get my exercise in, man.
Nice one, buddy. Nice one, honestly.
All right, up to deputy in the BCSO. Hawk and Flowers, congratulations. Nice job. I mean, she's not a cadet anymore.
Indeed.
Oh my gosh.
You.
Congrats. Senior deputy in the BCSO is going to be Richard. Riggs, you're going to go to sergeant. And Keller,
Appreciate it, Sheriff.
Keller, if you're here, you're going to go to captain. I don't know if Keller's here.
He's not here at the moment. We'll let him know though.
As for the LSPD. So I know I said we added a staff sergeant. And I think the person that probably does deserve this, and when I saw this, I completely agree with it, is somebody who's been in the city for a while, since the beginning. He does do a lot of hours. He's more of a late night person. Ruth, if you're here, you're moving up to staff sergeant. I saw him, right?
He's here.
He's right here.
Oh, nice. Congrats, Ruth. You've been around for a while. And so you're the first person of the new rank, I believe, as staff sergeant. Another person, I think you guys know, Mr. Guns. Mr. Guns, over the past couple days, has really kind of helped bring everything of this restructure together. He brought up a lot of really good ideas about it, and I think that's the reason why this change is happening, is due to him. Guns, you're going to move up to captain, so congratulations on that. And let's see, is there anyone else? Oh yeah, I guess so. So as we spoke earlier, commissioner, a chief, and assistant chief. Those are going to be the high command of all the departments. If you could probably guess, you might be able to tell who the high command people might be. Our assistant chiefs are going to be Mr. Valentine and James Larkin. Both are going to be the assistant chiefs. They're going to work together. Going to chief, aka sheriff, aka back to chief. Dangle, congratulations. Oh wait, you're still in the same spot, so you didn't get a promotion.
Oh, damn it.
But filling in for the LSPD.
Screw you guys, I'm going home.
I know you saw the message that I was going to be the fill-in. We decided to go on with Mason Green, to be the chief of the LSPD. He's also helped a lot over the past couple of days, as well as Dangle, as well as Larkin. We mentioned the commissioner. Well, I'm going to be the one that's going to oversee everything. I'm also going to be kind of the chief of SAHP. That's kind of already been my position. I've tried to do this over the past couple weeks. It didn't really work out, but when we all got together and we talked about the rankings and everything, we kind of thought it would probably be best if we had somebody overseeing everything. So I'll be the commissioner. I don't know how much I'm going to be in the streets, but I'm going to help you guys out as much as I can. If you have any questions, just let me know. So that's going to be how the restructure is going to be. Chiefs, assistant chiefs, captains, lieutenants, staff sergeants. Congrats, Ruth. Sergeants. Another big thing is FTOs. If you're an FTO, there's a cadet around. Unfortunately, you're an FTO, man. You got to take that cadet. Cadet shouldn't have to sit around for 2 hours while people are going in and out MRPD. Start to notice FTOs aren't taking cadets, helping them get their hours and everything. We're just going to remove the FTO tag. Because, I mean, what's the point of being one if you're actually not going to help out and train? Do you guys want to say anything about the structure, the rankings, promotions?
I'll
With all,
happily.
I mean, the big
I
thing when
think
it
he
comes
wants to
to it
finish
is
this.
we're not exactly done with it yet either. So just keep up the great work. Is there still some changes that could be made?
Any
There
of
is-
these changes that we went ahead and let you guys know about, if you guys have, once again, any questions, comments, concerns, complaints, you can go ahead and speak to me after this or speak to any of us individually after this.
To let everybody know the FTO requirements and hours and everything, we've worked on those the last few days. I've been talking it over with the rest of High Command about what we want to do with that. We're going to cut that 72 down to 30. I feel like, especially this time of the year, like there's a lot of people that they're pretty busy as far as outside the city, you know what I mean? So it's tough for them to put a lot of hours in on their shifts. And, you know, with that being the case, it's almost impossible for some of them to get those hours. So we bumped that
Yeah,
down.
go ahead.
And for the time being, we also have removed the DOC phase. We're talking about potentially having an application for civilians that would like to just work DOC in general, because it's kind of tough for them to really get anything done up there. So yeah, that's kind of what's going on with that. So if you have anybody that has over 30 hours done and they have their checklist done, have them come speak to me, and we can get them final evals rolling ASAP.
Hey, I would like to say something as well. Just so you guys know, within the next 2 weeks, we're going to be opening up applications for SWAT. Right now, we don't have a certain rank that's able to join. Obviously, above officer, because we're not going to just have a cadet just come in and be a gunner. So within the next 2 weeks, just keep an eye out for that. It's going to be applications, and we'll just let everybody train and everybody participate. So, you know what I mean? There's no favoritism and shit like that. Just letting y'all know. Miller.
Actually, that's kind of minor, but it's also kind of big. With the restructure, we're going to change away our call signs. We're going to clean up our Discord and everything as well. But from now on, if you are an LSPD officer, and correct me if I'm wrong on this group, it's going to start with L and it's going to be a 3-digit after that.
Right, so you can continue using your 3-digit call sign, but if you're going to be LSPD, you're going to use the call sign Lima, so L. For BCSO, it'll be a B, so Bravo. I'm trying to remember what we did for the rest, because I know Rangers and HP were a little different.
Yeah, H is H like 123, and then Rangers is R, XXX, and I don't know if Pillbox is Pillbox going to switch to that.
That's something that we can bring up to them if that's something that they want to do.
Okay.
Not right now. I mean, we can if it would be easier for everybody, we can just be Echo whatever.
We can talk about that. I don't think that's like too big, but if that's something you guys are interested in too, we could probably make that happen.
And also, those in High Command are going to be using Alpha as their call sign, so that way it'll be easy to recognize when they're on the radio.
Yeah, a few more, then we can take some questions, or you guys, if you want to talk individually to us, you can. All right, the next one. This goes more towards high command, low command, FTOs, sergeants, lieutenants, captains. You guys are in those positions for a reason. People are going to look at you a lot, they're going to judge probably you a lot more if you're in a higher position. You got to be as professional, be who you can afford to be. If you're a captain, show that you're a captain. Take control of situation, especially, I mean, now with this new structure in the ranks. That's the one thing, is like, also if these people lower than us, like some of the newer people, they don't have a lot of experience. Teach them how to do paperwork, teach them how to file an MDT, teach them how to do warrants, teach them how to communicate over, the radio instead of just kind of yelling at somebody if they fuck up or something. Just try to help them as much as you can. If you're an FTO, be an FTO, teach them something good. When I see people in a ranking position, sergeants, lieutenants, anybody, and then they ended up just really not being like who they can be. We put you in position for a reason. It's like kind of act like that. I hate seeing really just low class, high ranking officers.
Can we also cut down the amount of civilians that we're just driving around with in our cars? Because if like a bank truck or something pops up and you have to respond to that, you either, what are you going to do? Just leave them in the middle of the road somewhere, or are you going to bring them there with you and put them in harm's way? I think it's kind of, if they're not an FTO, like a cadet that you're doing a ride along with, or somebody that's shadowing or something like that to become a PD officer, I really don't see the purpose of having them in the vehicle. So if it's just somebody that you're buddy with that, just wants to ride with you for no other reason than to be in the vehicle, we got to stop doing that, in my opinion, at least.
And tie with kind of communicating goes back to radio comms. I forgot about it, but I saw it on my list and I just remembered. Use the job chat. If you guys notice, every time I fly into the city, I wake up, it's just job chat that I'm 1041. Especially if people are talking over the radio, there's really no need to radio in and be like, hey, I'm 1041. Just use the job chat. Let's kind of be a little bit more active on that. Even something easy like, 123, 10-8, or small things like that. Pay attention to that job chat, see what people are doing. Let's try to use that a little bit more. I think that's going to keep the radio communication a little bit more crisp and a little bit more clean. That's pretty much everything that I have on the list. Anybody else, the high command, before we start kind of opening up the floor? You guys want to add anything else?
Negative.
Good on my end, unless you guys wanted something. You, Valentine?
No, if people want to speak up, they could go ahead and speak up now.
Corner, white scarf.
Yep. Am I getting demoted? I was told you're bringing up demotions or promoted or something.
What's your name?
Promotions and demotions.
Timothy Lee. We haven't gone through demotions. We only spoke about
Promotions
from rank sergeant and above. We didn't talk about the corporals. We didn't talk about regular officers. We spoke about the deputies. We didn't talk about officers though.
Anybody else?
I know that there's definitely some people in this room who have things that they want to say, so I would strongly encourage that when you have the opportunity to do so, that you do it.
Actually, I do.
Pull the elephant out in the room. Talking about favoritism and promotions and all that, and I don't have any issues with the people that have been promoted. It was kind of the thing that made Lee quit, and it just seems that again people are still moan about it. Like I know I've had no issues, and I've spoken to Larkin about it, not Green. I don't know if Green's aware. Kind of one of the reasons that people were moaning about people just being placed up too high. I think a lot of people, and I'm going to be the one to take the heat from it and ask why, but like, why are these people being placed in those positions ahead of other people? Again, I have nothing wrong. I have no problems with them, and I don't plan to start any problems with them. I just know people will be wanting to ask this question, and I'll happily be the one to take the fire from it.
Yeah. No, so over the past couple of days, the ones, as you see, I assume you're talking about like high command and stuff?
Yeah, just in general.
So these are the ones over the past couple of days that we noticed we're trying to come up with the best solutions. Everybody here that's behind me, we were in basically voice chats for about 4 to 6 hours, coming up different ideas, kind of going back and forth, and we're seeing how it is. So that's kind of basically the main reason as to why they're the ones, because we seem to all agree upon a lot of things. We're able to talk it out, where before the high command we didn't really talk things out that much. Actions were getting taken very quickly. So that's kind of why I decided to put, and we all kind of agreed upon it, to put these ones in the high command, just because we think it's going to bring a little bit better leadership, communications on all sorts of sides. Does that answer that, Porter, or anything else?
No, I'm just throwing it out there for everyone because I know there's a few people that kind of I don't want them to be the ones to bring it up and get
Yeah.
more shit that they're already getting. So like I said, I want to bring it up just so there is an answer out there for it. Just
That's also
again to clear shit up, really.
Yeah, that's also a problem. Like, you guys should be able to come up to us and talk to us and try to figure out. Just because somebody else got promoted over you doesn't mean you're doing anything bad. Sometimes if you really want a promotion, or let's say you're working for a promotion or whatever it is, come up to the person and ask, be like, hey, what can I do differently to show that, like, I'm really trying to work for something here.
True, and also to go off of that, like, don't feel like you can't come and say, you know, I feel like I've been doing really good work and I feel like I could be in line for promotion. Like, that's okay. Like, I'm not gonna turn you away for coming to me and saying that, right? But just make sure that it's not something that, like, every 2 days you're like, hey bro, when am I gonna get that promotion? You finish with those errands. You know what I mean? Like, just let it come naturally. You know, if you feel like you deserve one and you feel like it hasn't come your way yet, definitely mention it. But you know, only mention it once or twice. Don't mention it every other day, because that's when it starts to be one of those things where we're going to be less inclined to do it. You know what I mean?
So that's also why I said, like, just because your name may not have been called right now, today, doesn't mean that you're not in line for a promotion, that you're not in line to move up the ranks. These are just the ranks that we solidified as of right now. We do have our eyes on other people as well. Just keep doing the great job you guys are doing.
I got something to say, but it's off topic. After this, once you guys are done.
Anybody else on that subject situation? All right, Guns, what's up?
All right, so I've noticed I do it myself, so I'm not gonna sit here and be like, "Oh no, I don't do that." Going through red lights, code 2ing, and all that shit. Listen, I know we're cop. You know, as our job, we're able to like just code to it through a red light, bro. If there's nothing to do and you guys have no place to go in a hurry, that's an emergency. There's no point for anyone, even myself. I do it. Yes, I do it, and I am working on it. Stop code 2ing through a red light just because you don't want to sit there and wait. Just wait. It's not that hard, because sooner or later down the road, these guys in the city who are the civilians are watching us cross the road. They're gonna be like, well, he's running the red light. And sometimes people don't pay attention, and you know, you run the red light and you forget to turn on your lights, or you know, honk the horn and stuff through the light. Now that you have a civilian who's watching you from like 2 blocks down, like, what the fuck did he just do? I mean, I'm not, like I said, I do it myself. It's a bad habit. Yes, am working on it. I was working on it today and the past couple of days, but just try to follow the law. We have to put, you know, we are the law, and we're trying to enforce it, but we have to follow it as well. That's just what I gotta say. That's all.
Anybody got anything to add? Any more questions?
The only thing we have for EMS, just so everybody's aware, we no longer get any of the normal things that come across, like bank robberies. We get none of that anymore. We only get 911s and 311s. So if y'all are en route to something that we need to be staged for, please, somebody just switch over and say, hey, can y'all be en route to stage? And we'll come and stage.
Yeah, absolutely. That's kind of weird.
That and our 1014 button still is not working, so watch the 911s, because we'll be dropping 1014s into that if we ever get into anything.
All right, holy shit.
Motherfuckers, everybody in this room better respect the EMS. If I hear anything about anybody disrespecting the EMS, I'm gonna be pissed, because these guys do a lot of shit for us, and I don't really hear anybody ever say thank you for it. So I will personally, on behalf of the department, thank you guys for all the hard work you guys do.
Same. EMS, I've always said it my entire life. EMS are the unsung heroes. You guys, it's probably the most unthanked job in the entire city. So I honestly appreciate you guys, and I love it every time I see EMS.
I do want to say something about this. So when we see EMS responding, if you're an officer that is not on the call, we need one of you to go and stage with EMS. That way they feel more safe, especially when there's a shootout. So that way that if the crims do end up seeing EMS, that they're not going to try and go take their medical supplies or anything like that. That's all I got to say about that.
All right, floor is open. Any questions?
Has High Command been speaking about, as people have been calling it, the cunt cop matter of the insta cuff, the insta tase,
The RoboCop thing, yeah. So with
they're like just being just a twat to everyone.
So,
Insta tase,
alright,
insta cuff,
guys.
turning up with more.
That's something I want to go ahead and take over. Thank you for that, Porter, for bringing it out. So, understand that you guys, you know, whatever, it's in the situation kind of deal. Think about it like this. We sacrifice what we need to sacrifice, whether it's a little bit of a time and yeah, whatever, they hide in a bush, we can't find them, let them go. You know why? Because there's so much more that we could do rather than, you know, the instant cuff, instant tackle, and arrest the guy. Like, yeah, let the man go. Now what? If we get any sort of identification, guess what? Warrant time. Boom, right there. If he gets away even more, hey, screw it. Like, if he's trying to be creative about it, you know, obviously we can't consider it being the same person. But let's say, you know, for example, I had an interesting pair of criminals yesterday. They were driving the same vehicle, wearing the same two outfits, and every time that they were seen by myself and my other officers, they were claiming to be different people. But at the same time, it was literally the same exact vehicle and the same exact two outfits with the same, you know, same voice, same everything, just literally an outfit change. You know, so obviously you're going to make those ties, let them get away, whatever. And if they want to just keep being that careless about it, obviously you know, as bad as it sounds, just strike them down with the hammer. Well, you know, once they're caught, it's getting everything, all of that. They could go ahead and take it to court. You have all the evidence to go ahead and back your side. They have whatever they claim to go ahead and back them. You know, it's not always about just instantly getting the guy every single time. You know, like a perspective, I guess. You don't always get to win when it comes to this, right? Like, you should be expecting to be on the losing end of things. And that's just something that a lot of these guys that are in the ranks that they are, and a lot of you that are coming up and working on, just like Ruth, for example, you know, you guys understand the fact that, hey, I can't win everything. I can't always arrest the guy that I see doing this. I can't always catch them all and book them for whatever that they did. Like, let that happen. Get it, round up some guys to help you out, get some research done, and just make that one big one that you get to do actually worth all of those other times that you got quote unquote beat.
There was one thing that I can't believe I almost forgot this. If we're responding to a call for a house robbery, right, and it's like, say it's up in Mirror Park, and you breach the house that the alarm is being triggered from, and you don't find anybody in there, can we please stop going door to door, breaching every single house on the block until we find the guy that is robbing the houses? Like, if they're not in the one that the alarm went off, go sit in your cruiser, go down the block, wait until because they're going to slip up and do another one. But unless you have a warrant or a reason to be going to these houses, you can't be going door to door like that. So 9 times out of 10, when we're catching people, they're in a house that isn't even a house that's being triggered, and we're like taking them and booking them, when in reality we didn't even have a reason to be in the house to arrest them. You know what I'm saying? See what the problem here is?
That makes sense.
We just want to be a bit more fair to people that are robbing houses, especially if they're being creative about it.
You know, if it's the apartment complexes, that's one thing. You can't really pinpoint which apartment it is. So if you have to breach several, I mean, that happens sometimes. But if you're up in Mirror Park, like, there's no excuse to just be going door to door and like searching for these guys for like 30 minutes and they're like hiding in a corner in the house. I mean, I don't know. I feel like it's just kind of unfair to them. It's illegal. We don't have proper cause to be going into a house that's not being triggered. If we don't have a search warrant or anything like that, we can't just be kicking doors in. But yeah, that was all I had for that.
There's one little thing that I wanted to bring up that one criminal did come and inform me about, and it pisses me off to see it because obviously I'm CID, trying to bring the best that I can to make cases and court cases and take everything to court, and then we've got situations like Rincon Loco, who did some shit, was in a different outfit, masked up, shot up a load of cops. Was just driving around in a different outfit in a different vehicle, masked up in a different time. And luckily I don't know names, because if I did I'd call them out right now. Decided to pull him over and say, we know it's you, Rincon, because we have X-ray vision, we can see through masks. That shit is fucking dumb. And if
Actually
you've
said
noticed,
that?
criminals have stopped doing as much crim shit. You see less and less bank trucks, less and less Vangelicos by the day, and that's because they're getting fed up. And if they're fed up, it's going to be, we're doing fucking traffic stops, which means PD, its numbers are strong at the moment, are slowly going to start to decline again. And again, if PD falls, then there's not much for many other people to do. Just petty little things of people trying to get the win 24/7 towards crims that are stopping people wanting to go around and do shit daily. Just to get an arrest on someone, to put someone away for 75 months, like, saying shit like that, it's fucking stupid. And it's not the first time I've heard it. And I don't think it'll be the last, but I think it's something that needs to be addressed to high command.
Some I want to kind of go off on that as well, because I've had a couple times where I've caught criminals red-handed, but they actually gave me a very creative story. They gave me a logical reason as to why they were there and doing said action. And like they actually put in the effort to try to make me believe their story. And I've let them go. You got to remember, at the end of the day, we don't have a quota. We don't have to have a certain amount of arrests on our records. We need to stop being try hard for the W. Give criminals a chance if they're actually putting effort into trying to give you a story and actually make it sound believable. Let them go. I mean, what's it gonna hurt? It's not gonna hurt us at all. If anything, it's going to encourage them to be more creative in the end. I mean, I've had times I've pulled somebody over at a traffic stop. Obviously, it's a stolen vehicle. Like every sign points to it. But they actually gave me some logical story. Oh, it was my mom's car and I was bringing it here. It's my friend's car. Yada, yada, yada. They say it's their friend's car. Go back to your cruiser, pretend to have a phone call with said friend, and then, just let them go with it. I mean, like I said, at the end of the day, it's not going to hurt anybody. Just because I just want to encourage criminals to be more creative with us and actually come up with stories and give us something that we can roll with. Like that though, that is a good point though, Porter.
Yeah, I actually didn't even know. Definitely, that shouldn't be happening at all.
Yeah, I know the Vargos were are definitely pissed off with the way PD's been treating them at the moment. So I just thought I'd bring it up to kind of, I'm good with them. So I thought I'd bring it up and just make everyone aware that just kind of calm down being idiotic towards them with petty little shit.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because
And
they're
to go
wearing
along
yellow
with
doesn't mean they're a Vargo. Remember
go
that,
along
anyone
with
can
what
wear yellow.
Porter said earlier about the insta-tase, nobody should be insta-tased anyways. There should be a 3. Everyone should be warned at least a couple times before we even fire a taser shot at them. Just to show an example that Richards and I
give the
were in a
crims
foot
like 2.
chase yesterday where we could have tased this individual instantly and had her in cuffs and ready to go. But we gave her the few warnings. She managed to do a little sniff and happened to outrun us.
Hey, she came and turned herself into me later on that day as well.
Yeah, see?
By the way,
like, there's no point in insta-tasing someone. Eventually, you'll either get them, they'll turn themselves in, or it'll turn out you don't need to fucking tase someone the second they get out of their vehicle.
Just so that way, because we have to make it known to everybody, considering we're on this topic, it was tested and has also been proven. If you have a suspect in cuffs that you're chasing, don't tackle them, because if you tackle them, it will break the cuffs. So you're gonna have to go for the tase if they're running from you in handcuffs.
The fuck did
Anything
everybody
else to
go?
add on?
Bunch of people left for the security event.
Alright, then I think we're good here. If you guys have any questions or want to discuss kind of everything that we talked about today, you can come up to any of us and see how the next couple weeks are going to go. I think it's going to work out. gonna keep a lot of everybody like accountable and check. Communication should be a lot more clear than it was before. So you know, let's try to just do our best, see what we can do with it.
Oh, hey, handsome.
What? You said you had something or no?
Oh, no. Sorry, I thought I was
All right.
whispering still.
You guys are all good to go. Thank you for coming out.